When you are a parent, you know when stuff is not right. Am I right or wrong? Now, sometimes it's our own children, right? You say amen. Amen. Sometimes it's the teacher. Amen. So y'all like that one, huh? Sometimes it's the principal. Amen. It might even be the superintendent sometimes. Now, I'm not suggesting the superintendent here, but sometimes. But oftentimes it's also their friends. Am I right? Yes. Okay, so I want to talk about the real issues. The reason I put this photograph up is that little boy with the box around his head, that's me. This is my kindergarten classroom from 1962 in Chicago, Illinois. Now, the reason I like to put this photograph up is because that's my kindergarten teacher. Now, her name was Mrs. Burke, and my elementary school was Burke Elementary School. As God is my witness, I thought they named the school after her. I didn't know any better. But that was my kindergarten teacher, and what she taught me, which is really important, I believe, whenever I speak to parents, is that she told me that I was too smart not to go to college. So even though my school would have qualified for Title I funds if they would have had Title I, because it was 100% free and reduced lunch, 100% black, and my school was in the lowest performing school system in the United States at the time. But she told us we could go to college. Now, I want to explain why we look so good in our photograph. Because during the time that I was in school, you took your school pictures when? The Monday after what? The Monday after Easter. Because that's the only time you had your Sunday best. You didn't have your best clothes the first day of school. You didn't have it in the fall like we take school pictures now. The one day of the school year that everybody knew that we would look good was the day after Easter. But the quote, and the quote at the bottom, what do you see when you look into the face of poverty? I heard Dr. Freeman Habowski, the president of the University of Maryland, say, and what he was really saying was, can we, us, I'm not talking about just a classroom teacher, can we look into the face of a child who's poor or who's homeless or who's adopted or who lives in a group home or who lives in a difficult situation? Can we believe that child can go to college? Or will we look at that child and make an excuse? Now, this is not about the school. This is about this room, because we do it for our own children. And here's how we do it for our own children. When we have a child that struggles a little bit, we say, well, you know, he can't concentrate. Now, when you're talking about a boy, he concentrates all day when he wants to play a video game. But when he goes into the classroom and starts reading a paragraph and falls asleep, we say, well, you know, he can't Isn't this Saturday? We say he can't concentrate. When we get to the high school level, and I meet them all the time, is that we get children to the high school level and they don't enroll in the hardest classes. And they say to us, well, you know, Mama, I struggle. I can't do that. But that same child will go to the football field after school and play for 3 hours. Friday night, play all night, battered and bruised. Coach will run them around the field all night. Never miss a block, never miss a play. But then when they go to chemistry or biology or algebra, and I know in Georgia now we don't really call it algebra anymore, it's something else. Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, this math, that math. It doesn't matter what math it is. Our children have to go in and do their best. Am I right or wrong? Right. So that's what my kindergarten teacher taught me, that no matter what, and I looped with this class. We were in the same class all through elementary school, and I was not a good student. I want you to understand something. I want you to understand who I am. I was born in Pike County, Alabama, the year of the Montgomery bus boycott. I was given up for adoption before I was 6 months old. I grew up in poverty. My father dropped out of school in the 8th grade. My mother dropped out of school in the 10th grade. You would never hear me excuse anything that I do. You'll never hear me making an excuse for myself, and you'll never hear me feel sorry for myself, because I had someone that put me on the high road to life by telling me in kindergarten, boy, no matter where you come from, you can go to college. Are you with me on that one? Yeah. Okay. Now I know, and I know in the room we have different nationalities and races and genders, but in case you're in the back of the room, let me make sure you can see who I am. I'm black. If you saw my wife, she's a black woman, which means we got 2 children. What color are they? They're black. All right, here's what I want you to understand. This is not about, not talking about the importance of education for all children. It says that if I'm a black man with 2 black boys, I have to know. It's not the superintendent's job, the principal's job, the teacher's job. I have to know what my sons have to do to be successful. I have to know it. Well, boys, this school year throughout the United States, based upon the best data we have, for every 100 black boys that start kindergarten, only 3 are projected to graduate from college. This is a sense of urgency for everyone in the room, because if you're in the room, you say, well, I'm glad I don't have a black boy. It's not that much better for black women. It's not that much better for poor white children. It's not that much better for Hispanic children. And even for the children at the very top, for Asian children, we're still only talking about 18 to 20. Now, 18 to 20, of course, is better than 3. But 18 to 20 out of 100, that's not good enough. That is not. Do you realize that if we looked at the football games from last night and the other team beat us 100 to 3, that everyone in this room would say, what the heck is wrong with that coach? Well, how can we have children start the process and they don't get through the process? It's only because, I'm telling you, it's only because we don't push education to the level that it has to be pushed to. I mean, that's the reality. The reality is, and I looked at the children in here, let me give you this. If you don't believe anything else I say, I'm going to give you one thing you can take home with you tonight. I look at the children and how they're dressed. Here's what I do with my own. I won't tell you anything to do with yours I don't do with mine. And my wife is here, so bear my witness. My 9th grader, he got his first progress report. It was less than perfect A's. Because it was less than perfect A's, I went into his closet. I took all his clothes out his closet. I put them in my closet. I left him with 1 pair of shoes, with 1 pair of jeans, and with 1 T-shirt. And I said, if you are not going to take care of your business, you are not going to be wearing these clothes. And then I told him, I said, you get to shop at my store with your grades. You get an A, you get to buy a shoe. You get another A, you can get the other shoe. You bring me an A, and I've been in Texas all week, which is why I was losing my voice. I've been working with kids in Texas all week. So I got home last night, and my son and I